everyone and welcome back to the eXrays YouTube channel, the dynamic media team of XAVIER'S. In our today's episode of XAVIER'S Triumph Tales, we have with us Mr. Animesh Chatterjee. During the school time, being a prefect, a meritorious student and an exceptional cricket player, Animesh graduated in 2006 and further pursued his BTech in Computer Science Engineering from IIIT Hyderabad. Since after college, he's been working in Google as a software engineer, and leading to that, he's a member of the founding team of Google Pay. Travel blogging and guiding students like he did in our school for the NTSC examination are also included in his personage. So now, let's start the session.
So, hello. Let's just begin from the beginning of your career journey and give us the honor of making you feel a little nostalgic. So, what were some of your fondest memories of XAVIER'S?
I think there are a plethora of memories. I spent my entire childhood and teenage years here, so it's difficult to pick one. But I think there was this one particular incident. I think we were in class 11 and we went out for a games period and it was raining outside. And then Father Principal got really angry that you guys are all wet and all. I won't let you back in the class. And then as a punishment, he asked us to stay out for the rest of the day. And which turned out to be the best punishment ever. So we were out there playing football for the next 5 periods in rain. And for the entire class, that remains one of the most memorable days of school.
So that's amazing. That was quite cool. So being a prefect is quite a job.
You were a prefect and you did that.
Yeah. So could you share an experience or an incident during your prefect journey?
I mean, it was a good learning experience being a prefect. So of course you learn to be accountable for a lot of things. You have to organize stuff, and then you also learn to manage your peers and your juniors, which are things which hold you in good ground even later on in your life. But of course there were fun moments. So as a prefect you could always choose to skip out on certain classes on pretext of some made up work. I mean, not that I did it, but you could. And then of course I was very strict on my friends. I would make sure that they dressed absolutely perfectly and spotlessly to school.
Yeah.
And then during the Diwali times we were supposed to prevent crackers from being burst, and those were fun days. So when people would go out for games periods and zero periods and all, we would go through their bags and a lot of times through their tiffins too, just tasting for any explosives. So yeah, a lot of fun times as a prefect.
That's cool.
Let's move on to the next question. We know that you played cricket, so you used to play cricket and also you were a prefect.
Yeah, I mean, somehow I managed to do a lot of extracurricular things apart from academics.
That is very impressive because it is so tough to manage both, studies, academics and extracurriculars together. So everybody loves cricket, and guess what? The St. Xavier's team is the best in town, one of the best in Jaipur. So how did your time playing for the school cricket team influence your passion for the sport? Winning the Best Bowlers Award at the U17 district tournament must have been a milestone for you. Could you describe that experience to the viewers?
Yeah. Those were really golden days. I think in the evenings, Mr. Kala and Mr. Rasava sir, they would really grill us. So how did it develop my passion for the game? So the more you understand the game, the more you appreciate it, right? So when you are a peripheral follower of cricket, you would only appreciate fours and sixes. But once you start playing the game, you would appreciate even a solid defense or a leave outside off stump. So that's definitely how it evolved my passion for the game, and I could even watch Zimbabwe versus Bangladesh test matches during those days. So yeah, the other thing which cricket helped me was also develop as an individual. So in any team setting, when you first get into the team, right, when you got into the cricket team, you're just happy to be there. Okay, I got selected here. Then as time passes on, you realize that you just don't want to be there. You want to contribute in a big way. So you evolve your game to kind of make yourself useful for the team. And then you grow as you grow even senior, become a captain or vice captain, you realize your individual performances are not enough and you're not happy as long as the team is winning. And then that becomes your priority, even if it means taking a back step as an individual. So I mean, playing cricket not only just helped me develop passion for the sport, but also as an individual it helped me grow. The U17 thing was it was a high point of my career, if you want to call it. So in that tournament we got knocked out early. Thankfully, I had taken enough wickets by then. So when the award was announced, I was not aware that I had got it. So it was only in the next day when it came out in papers and some of my friends read about it, they told me in the school. That was probably the first time I have run to the library to look at the papers, double confirmed it, borrowed a phone from my teacher and then called up my parents to inform them. So yeah, it was a really nice day.
You were like all rounder and like you used to do all the things. And
I mean, I tried.
Yeah.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But
well,
yeah,
you were involved in everything though.
it was at least a lot of memories to talk about, which is the good
So
part.
from clinging the title of the best bowler to like developing an interest in computer science. So especially with like limited prior exposure to computers, can you like describe your experience at IIIT Hyderabad and like how it shaped your career in like computers?
Yeah. So, I mean, how I got into computer science, both my parents are doctors.
Oh.
And they were like, you won't be able to do this. तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. So you won't be able to study as much as is needed for medical and become an engineer. I mean, that was the lighter side of it. On a more serious note, I was interested in science and maths.
Oh.
And then IIT and IIIE seemed like a logical choice. And then when I got through, computer science was an upcoming stream. So that was the next logical step to pursue it. Of course, it was kind of a leap of faith because, as you said, I had very limited exposure in computers. And even some of the online forms back then for the exams, I had requested my friends to fill them up for me. So they still joke that, how did you become a software engineer? And then finally I landed up at IIIT, and that was an interesting learning experience. So when you are at school, and thankfully I was good in academics, so you were among the toppers, and then you go to IIIT where everybody was a respective topper in their school, right? And some of them had a lot more experience in computers, and then you saw this big gap between yourself and the others, right? So at the end of the first year, there was this academic excellence awards being given out, and I think 40 or 50 people got it in the batch, and I didn't. So that was a wake up.
Pressurizing.
Yeah, I mean, that was a wake up call that, okay, you can't take things for granted and you have to like really strive hard. And then I talked to a professor who was very kind, and he told me that, in computer science we code. So there is a lot of difference between somebody who has coded just 1,000 lines versus somebody who has coded 1 lakh lines, say. But the difference is not so much between somebody who has coded 1 lakh lines and 2 lakh lines. So the more you code, the lesser the difference would become. So I put in the hard yards, and IIIT has a good culture of nurturing students in all aspects of computer science. So over the years, I became good at it, and I started enjoying it more. I mean, it goes back to the thing I told in context of sport: the more you understand it, the more you enjoy it. And through the journey, I realized that this is where I want to pursue my career. And the other thing which kind of made me believe strongly is that if you work hard enough and you work smart enough, things which look improbable at one point of time, they do become achievable. So yeah, it was a great learning experience at IIIT. Thank you.
Damn. You also got a job at Google right after college, which is so impressive. So what was the hardest part of moving from studying to working at such a big tech company?
Yeah, so it was a big validation and relief to begin with. Years before the final job placements, we had internship placements. I think there were 15 or 20 companies who had come to the college, and I didn't get selected for any. So again, it was like that, I had to put in more efforts to prepare for the Google interview. So finally, when it happened, it was like a big personal satisfaction and milestone. The hardest part was keeping myself fit. So Google, there is a lot of free food, and it's an amazing spread of buffet, right? And coming from college where the mess is not great, to Google, it was like I had gained 21 kgs in the first 10 months. So the hardest part was just keeping myself in check. But apart from that, in terms of job, I think it was similar to joining IIIT. So when you came out of IIIT, you felt that you are among the special few who got selected for Google. And then you realized everybody there is special, right? People were there who had written books about computer science. There are people who had written programming languages. And then you realize that you had to continuously work hard in order to stay among the best. So that was a learning. But the good part is in Google, you're surrounded by so many geniuses that you are learning and evolving every day of the week. There is a term in Google which we call as imposter syndrome. So it's like people believing that they are imposters, got in by fluke, and the rest of them are geniuses. Turns out it is very common in Google. A lot of people have this imposter syndrome. I still have it after 12 years of working at Google. So, but yeah, it's fun.
I've read that in psychology though.
Yeah.
So, being a part of the founding team of GPay, and it must have been an incredible experience for sure. So could you share some insights from your experience and like how, like what kind of challenges you faced during that time?
So it is, in some sense, stuff of dreams, right? As a software developer, you only aspire to build a product that would be used by people all around you pretty much daily. And GPay has been that dream come true for me. Right? When we started GPay, we were like a 5 to 7 member small team. We had zero background about payments, right? And yet we wanted to build this payment product. It was almost like that Hindi song, "Aankhon mein sabne ye ghar se hum chalta diye," but we had no clue, right? From there to where we have come right now, it has been like an incredible journey. So there are lots of stories. I could probably write a book on it, but there are two interesting things which I would like to share. So one was the day of the launch, right? We had been building this product for almost 2 years, and then we launched on the 17th of September, and we didn't anticipate the amount of user traction we would get, right? So all our estimates had gone to pretty much the dustbin, and there was a massive outage. All our systems were down, all our partner banking systems were down. At the end of the day, we had like a really bad rating on Play Store. It was like a really sad day the first day. And then we rallied together as a team, we started kind of fixing things, and in the next 4 days we had reached 1 million users. So which was kind of a feeling that, okay, we are here, right? Now if you look at the GPay stats, today we do about $800 billion of transaction volume annually, which is the amount of money flowing through GPay, which if you convert it into Indian currency, this is roughly 6 followed by 11 zeros. That's 20% of the GDP of India. So that is the amount of money flowing through the systems we built up, so which is very surreal, right? During the duration of this interview, there would have been more than 25 lakh transactions attempted on GPay. So that is the volume, and again, it kind of re-emphasizes that belief that if you work hard enough and smart enough, things which look improbable might happen, right? And the other anecdote which we learned as part of this, that we were not just writing a piece of software, we were impacting people's lives. It was real money involved behind it. Right, so we had these calls coming in from people where somebody was crying on the phone that they had tried to make a payment for their son's or daughter's college fee, and the payment got stuck, and now they didn't have enough money left in the bank, and the deadline was approaching and they were helpless. Right, so those kind of incidents made us like realize that what we are doing is something really big, and we have to strive harder for excellence. We have to make something which works flawlessly, and that is what something like still motivates us.
Well, I just use Google Pay the morning though.
Nice. Hope it works seamlessly.
Yes, it does.
In your opinion, what has been the most significant impact or contribution of GPay to the fintech industry, both in India and internationally? What do you envision for the future of digital payments, and what role do you see platforms like GPay playing in the coming years?
So the impact has been huge. Right? The biggest benefit is financial inclusion and access to credit. Right? So if I simplify, suppose you are a small shopkeeper, right? You want to expand your business, you want a loan from the bank. In the olden days, if you had gone to the bank would ask you to prove that you have enough money to pay it back, right? And which most people wouldn't be able to do. And then they would go to unauthorized sources of credit and would get loans at exorbitant interest rates. Now with digital banking, the banks have a clear portfolio of how much money you have, how much money you spend, where all do you spend, can you return the loan that they give you, basically what we call as credit score. So it's so much easier to get access to credit now because of digital banking, and this is going to grow more. So this is going to severely impact the economy, right? There are a lot of new features coming in, which is like credit card on UPI. There is going to be a way to make a pure offline payment, so even if you are not connected to the net, you will be able to make a payment, which is something really cool. And there is also this huge untapped sector of unbanked users, people who don't have bank accounts yet. How do we tap into that sector? So both, the government and apps like GPay have to work hand in hand to kind of take us there. Internationally, it has been a huge impact, right? Every country in the world has stood up and taken notice of what has happened in India. I've had the good fortune of traveling to a bunch of these countries and talking to their banks and their regulators, and everybody is keen to learn that how did you do this in India? How can we simulate something like this? And you feel really proud as an Indian there, because those countries are years behind. Take any country in the world, they are nowhere close to where India is. They even haven't thought of things that India has already implemented. So in terms of like the financial banking, we are way ahead.
We are really proud of you for that.
It's a
So nowadays this segment, A Day in My Life, you must have heard of it, right? Is really blowing up across the internet. So how does a day in your life looks like? And so like as a software engineer at Google, it's just amazing to know about your day. So can you like share some experiences?
I try to wake up early nowadays. So I go for my cricket practice in the morning most of the days. And then I come back and then I try to reach office by 9:30, 10. When I reach office, I have three main agendas: my morning coffee, nice lunch, and then a coffee after lunch with my friends. Between that, I am checking emails, doing a lot of meetings, either around firefighting, there is something or the other broken every day, so you have to deal with those, or ideating about new ideas, or just solutioning on the upcoming projects. I do a lot of code reviews, which is essentially reviewing the code that has been written by my peers or my juniors. I often don't get time to code myself, but on some rare days I do spend time coding myself as well. And then by evening 6, I try to wrap up everything and head to the gym. That's how my day looks like.
That's interesting.
Since many of us viewers are students, they're curious about how you manage both your job at Google and your love for cricket. You just you play cricket in the morning and then you go to your...
Yeah, I mean, it may sound preachy, but as I see it, it's not an option. You have to involve yourself in physical activity, right? It's not just essential for your physical well-being, but also like your emotional well-being, mental well-being. If you're not spending enough physical energy, other aspects of your life will get messed up. So come what may, you have to take time out. So either either play cricket or go to the gym, but at least 25 minutes, half an hour, I try to take time out every day. And it helps in different ways. I mean, you can use your clothes for longer. This happens to be my class 12 blazer that I'm still managing to fit into. So some of the other benefits of playing cricket and staying fit.
You also travel a lot, and we also checked out your travel blog. So it seems that you enjoy exploring new places. Can you share any special travel stories or places that made a very big impression on you?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to select one place. I really love the mountains. They make you feel humble. Right? There was one particular incident. We were in Finland in extreme winters. We wanted to see snow. So it was like some minus 25 degree. We were driving on a frozen lake, and I dropped my snowmobile on my wife's leg, broke her leg, and we were more than 2 hours away from the nearest hospital. I mean, it was a whole adventure getting to the hospital. We got her leg plastered, and then continued to complete our journey. So that, in a literal sense, had an impression on her leg. So that is one memorable incident.
So, like, for a final question, what advice would you like to give for the students who want to have a career in tech or like something like similar field of yours? So, and how do you think that hobbies and activities outside of work can help in their professional journey?
So, I mean, it's a very exciting time to be in tech right now with so much happening around artificial intelligence. You must have heard about Bard and ChatGPT. So it's a really fascinating time. The advice I have, it's probably applicable to any domain, and it's what Mr. MS Dhoni used to say after the matches in his post-match conferences, that trust the process, results will follow. Right? So as long as you're working hard, being smart about how you invest your energies, pick and choose your battles, things will follow. Even if it feels like things are not happening in place to begin with, they will ultimately will. So if you don't get into an IIT, maybe a triple IT is waiting for you. If you don't get an internship at Microsoft, maybe a job at Google is waiting for you. So don't be too harsh on yourself.
Yes.
And I think I have this philosophy that come what may, you should have fun in life, right? So you should enjoy the journey. And that's why some of these extracurricular activities are like really a must. And more than the fun aspects, they help you in ways you don't imagine. So for example, me going to the gym has helped me with my confidence and just the overall body language. Me playing cricket has helped me evolve as a leader and perform better in a team setting. Right? Me writing travelogues has helped improve my communication skills, which is again relevant in a corporate setting. So these things help you in ways more than one. So please take time out and do those things.
So Dhoni is your favorite cricketer now?
It happens to be Saurav Ganguly, but yeah, I'm inspired by Dhoni.
Okay, so for the rapid fire.
Yes, where is my coffee hamper?
Well, we guys make you feel nostalgic. Come on.
Maybe at the canteen after this.
We'll get you one. We'll make sure that we get you one.
Yes. So for the rapid fire, it's the most interesting round for sure.
Sure.
Yes, and it's too exciting. So yes. So let's just begin with it.
Sure.
So do you want me to start a countdown for you?
And you have to answer it really quickly, so don't
Sure.
take time. Just
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So favorite book.
So I haven't read a lot lately, but Shiva Trilogy by Amish was a good read. And I really liked in the non-fiction section, autobiography of Chris Gayle. I love the West Indies, so yeah.
So favorite movie.
In English it would be Lord of the Rings. In Hindi it's Three Idiots, closely followed by Dabba. I'm a Bhai fan.
Oh, see, I'm a Shah Rukh fan, sorry. So, favorite travel destination?
Anywhere in the Himalayas. Take me to Himachal, take me to Sikkim. I just like love
Go to
being
beach.
there. Okay, this would make me sound old, but I like vegetable khichdi nowadays. The history is that I have turned vegetarian a year ago.
Oh.
I was a hardcore non-vegetarian, and now I have started developing taste for a lot of vegetables that I didn't even eat before. So love, put everything together
Virat
in a khichdi.
inspired you or who inspired you? I don't know. So, what language would you learn if you got a chance to?
So there is this programming language called Go, which I want to learn at some point in time.
Okay.
You were talking about a real language.
I know, but I mean, you said language, so you ask that to a software engineer, they first think of programming languages.
Okay, so thank you so much. That was
It
great.
was such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, it was an honor to be here.
It was like an honor to talk to you, honestly.
Thank you.
So, and we are really proud of you, like as a Xavier. It's like amazing.
Thanks for the kind words. Happy to be here.
Okay, thank you so much.